Hello and welcome to the Fishing Guide Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Wiegmann. Oh my goodness, we're at Paradise. Can I say that?
Yes, always.
Or should I say we're at Blue Bank Resort?
Blue Bank Resort here at Reelfoot.
Same thing. You look it up in the dictionary. There it is, right there. And so,
you can't beat it.
That's right, man. This is amazing. Jeremy's also here, so let's just tell them a little bit about who you are and where we're at.
So I'm Drew Hayes. I'm actually a 5th generation owner here at Blue Bank Resort. So we've been going here at the lake doing guiding and everything since around the late 1890s.
Yeah, so this is a remarkable place, and so we're on Reelfoot Lake.
Yes, Reelfoot Lake, named after Chief Reelfoot.
All right, that was going to be my question. How did it come up with that name?
So actually, Reelfoot, Chief
Yes.
Reelfoot was a Native American, and he had a deformed foot.
Right.
So that was where they got the name Reelfoot from. And he actually, how the lake was made was an earthquake in 1811, 1812. So the story goes that he stole another wife from another tribe, and he took her home, and the gods got mad at her, and they sent an earthquake on the land, and the Mississippi rolled backwards to come fill in the land to come after her.
There you go. Wow, that's good. Jeremy, tell us who you are.
Well, guys, I'm Jeremy Mattingly. I'm the owner of Crappie Monster and On the Hook TV. And I moved down here around Reelfoot almost 2 years ago when we decided to start the show. And I got a really warm welcome right here at Blue Bank Resort. I actually guide for these guys out here on Reelfoot.
Well, let's talk a little about the facilities here. I know that we're staying up top, and we have just a gorgeous view coming out. But tell us about the economy or accommodations that you have here.
So the accommodations, like you said, we have some right overlooking the dock that y'all see right behind y'all. We have some rooms right over off to the side. We have cabins that sleep up to 30 people.
Oh, really?
As well. So we have sizes for any type of group that wants to come. We have fishing packages, and they include like your room, boat, motor, bait, gas, and ice.
Right. So you have some stalls. Tell us about where we're at right here.
Right here, right now, we're actually at the restaurant, basically.
Okay. All right. And so when's that open?
The restaurant, depending on the time of the year, but normally from 11 to 9.
Right. And so tell us, is this a year-round facility?
It is. So we go from fishing to the summer to back to fishing for the fall to duck hunting in the winter. Basically, the only slow months we have are November and February, but we're still open for everyone during those times.
I got you. Isn't fishing good here in November, though?
Oh, fishing's excellent.
Very good.
Like,
Yes.
pretty good. So, do you rent out boats? What all? Tell us what you have here. If someone was watching the show and they wanted to know more about you, what you have here, tell us.
So, like you see, if y'all can tell, I don't know how well you can see, the dock is right behind us, so we can pull up boats right up here.
Okay.
So we have most of them just back over here to the right now because it's been raining a little bit, so we didn't want any wind messing up our boats.
Right. So what else do you have? Gas pumps or what do you have here?
No gas pumps for everyone.
Okay.
We're mostly catering right here to our guests. We don't want you to have to leave.
Okay.
So that's why we include your room,
All right.
boat, motor, bait, gas, and ice. So we'll fill up the gas for you. You don't have to worry about anything like that. All you need to show up is with your fishing poles and tackle.
Like, do you have a gift shop that might have, excuse me a second, might have some glasses?
We have glasses like this. Obviously, my hat and my hoodie are all for sale. I even have some of Jeremy's stuff in there for tackle.
Sir. Oh, there you go. Crappie Master stuff. Or no, I'm
Monster.
sorry.
Crappie Monster. Yes,
That's
sir. I actually just had my shirt on down in Texas, and a girl stopped me and she said, "Where'd you get that?" I said, "Blue Bank Resort in Tiptonville, Tennessee." Now, of course, I got that wrong because you all are actually closer to Sandburg, aren't you?
Yes, so our address says Hornbeak, but we are right on the county line. So the funny thing is, my gas comes from one county, my water comes from the other county, so I'm right there at the middle where they meet.
Yeah. And the shirt that I had on was the one you all did with Billy, the Here Fishy Fishy
Oh, the Here
shirt.
Fishy Fishy.
Yeah.
And that's how we met. I was walking through, and she was going, "Here Fishy Fishy," reading my shirt. I was like, "Yes, ma'am."
Well, that's Billy's calling call to get the fish on the hook.
That is Billy's calling card.
So you guide here. So tell us, like, what do you think the peak months are? And just tell us a little bit about fishing here.
Well, fishing here from a guide standpoint, It's always great during the spawn.
Uh-huh.
It just always is.
And the months are?
The months, they were actually still spawning in mid-June this year.
Really?
Yes, so there was a late spawn. There was also a late spawn last year.
Right.
And for me, the best months are going to be July, August, and September.
Right.
And I saw the look on your face. And those months last year when I was guiding here pretty hard and steady, we had 2 trips last past 10 a.m. The rest of them, we were limited out, and we were looking at eagles from there on out.
Right.
I mean, we stopped fishing at 10 because we couldn't legally catch any more fish.
Right.
The summer, the fishery is predictable. The weather doesn't change as much as what it does in the spring and late in the fall. So you can plan an actual family vacation and come down here and go fishing with us, or that's also when the butterflies are going to be out here in their butterfly garden out front.
Right.
That's also when the pool's going to be open, ready to rock for you and the kiddos.
Right.
And they make it to where that once you come into Blue Bank, you don't have to leave. You've got the restaurant, you've got the gift shops, you've got some of the best cabins on the entire lake right here. And there's also sometimes in the evenings they'll be feeding the catfish out here.
Right.
And some of the guides will come in and help the kids catch the catfish right here behind us.
I got you.
And that's just an added bonus of being able to stay here. And it's something that they do for the community and for their patrons.
Let's talk a little bit also on the number of fish. What's the limit then of fish? I'm sorry, not catfish, but the limit of crappie.
Okay, the limit of crappie here, we just got a 10-inch minimum on length.
Okay.
That went into effect January 1 of this year, I
I
think.
believe January 1 or February. They changed rules on when it starts every year now, too.
Okay, and then it's 30 per person per day.
Okay.
So that's a lot of crappie.
Is there a number per boat? Like only 50 per boat?
As many
30
people
per
as we
person?
have.
Oh, I got you. All right.
Yeah, it's
Not
not like
there isn't something
in
like
Mississippi
that.
they have a
where-
40 boat
Right.
total. There's not one that I'm aware of that is a boat maximum for
right.
Tennessee.
Okay. Let's go back to the accommodations and tell us a little bit more about the meals and stuff that you can get inside there. What do you normally serve if someone was coming?
Our most popular item is by far the catfish because you want to get it when you come down here. But we make it comes with all the trimmings. Fries, onion rings, white beans, coleslaw, hush puppies.
Wow.
I have no one that ever finishes this hardly.
Right.
And then, but after that, probably our shrimp and grits, ribeyes, and our mahi-mahis are our most popular items after that.
Oh, wow.
So we have a little bit more than just fish.
Right. Let's go. So you're 5th generation. So were you born and raised real close to this?
Only
or
about 2 miles away.
2 miles away. So are you a big fisherman?
I like to. I barely get to because we're always sending them out fishing. I have to make
Right.
sure they're going out, and I want to make sure they're taken care of.
That's always the saying. If you own a tackle shop, you'll never go fishing again. So it's
Yes,
not
sir.
good to have a resort on one of the best lakes in Tennessee and not have. Then you're too busy to go fishing. You should get him to take you to go fishing.
I have, but the
Yeah.
problem is we start videoing because we're doing so well.
Yeah.
And I can't not do that.
We get out there, and content is king in our business.
That's right.
And when we get out there and get on fish, he turns it on to Facebook Live, and that's a great avenue for people to be able to see what that there is to offer down here. We went out there, we caught two bluegill off a bed, and me and Billy looked at each other and said, "We're going to have to stop, ain't we?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Doggone it." Well, they brought Drew out there. He gets in the boat with us, and, man, we busted like 40 fish over the next 25 minutes and had an absolute blast. And we just want to be able to share that experience with everybody, and it's something that Blue Bank does an extraordinarily good job of doing stuff like that. He takes one for the team every time that we go out there because he's always the guy behind the camera.
Right. There you go. You have to have a cameraman.
Hey, they at least feed me the fish afterwards, so I can't complain too much.
There you go.
What do you think's your most memorable moment when you were growing up here? What do you think really sticks out in your mind? Like, if you to share that experience with our listeners.
The most, I don't know if it's just like one moment,
Right.
but it's being able to see people that I saw even as a kid,
Right.
like still fishing then, fishing now. and I get to see like their kids and stuff. So I've grown really close to all those different people.
Right.
And it's something every year I get to look forward to, is those return people that I've known since I was a kid.
You talked about large groups. Tell us again about the accommodations they're staying now, the cabins and stuff. What size groups? Because if they're listening, they might be thinking, hey, we're going to have a family
corporate?
retreat or a corporate retreat, or it's a husband-wife just want to come and go fishing. What do you have?
Our minimum is 2 for the fishing packages.
Okay.
So that's pretty normal for most people. It does mess up a few.
Right.
But if you're wanting to stay at one house, it'll be 15. But if you don't mind splitting up, I could do about 70, 80 people.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, there's
That's
actually
huge.
34 in our group here today, tomorrow, and Wednesday for the media camp.
I got you.
And I split out a lot of those groups more than I had to, just because I was able to, because I was already planning on, this is for y'all this weekend.
Right. So fishing, one poling the king here, or spider rigging?
Well,
or...
traditionally it's been spider rigging.
Uh-huh.
Now, here over the last couple of years, it's one poling by far.
Right.
And it's one of those things. Reelfoot has a lot of stumps. I mean, that's the elephant in the room when you talk about Reelfoot, is all the stumps.
Right.
Well, the stumps aren't that big of an issue unless you're spider rigging. And that's because you stay hung up all the time. So you have to go down to a single hook to try to spider rig through the stumps and go super slow. Well, I'm on my trolling motor out there single poling. There'll be times I'm running almost 2 mile an hour on the trolling motor going through them stumps out there. So the stumps aren't that big of an issue. Yes, there's times when the lake level gets just right, you bounce around like a pinball out there.
Right.
But the fishing is worth it. There's giant fish in this lake. The biggest one that we caught during a guide trip last year was 16 3/8 of an inch, and that was in September.
Right. Wow, that's big.
That was the lady's third crappie she'd ever caught in her life. And that was the third crappie she caught on my boat with me. The first one was a little over 14 inches. The second one was right at 11. And the third one was 16 3/8 of an inch.
So you have a Crappie Master, so you're probably using a soft plastic bait, right?
Yeah, with Crappie Monster, I don't hardly ever even take minnows. And you're not going to see a minnow in my boat during this media camp either.
Right.
The biggest thing is figuring out what the fish want traditionally on each lake. The Reelfoot fishes to clear water colors. So we'll get our margarita color out, or maybe our icicle, a good clear water color.
Uh-huh.
And this one down here, I use a straight chartreuse head, and that's almost the only head that I ever use on this lake. And those 3 baits right there, those 2 baits on that one jig head, you can come down here any day of the year and catch fish.
Gotcha.
Now, if you get up in the stumps and stuff, if it's hot or the wind's blowing and you ain't got a choice, then a minnow and a bobber is awesome, because you might catch a catfish, or if it's minnow small enough, you might get into some bluegill or something, and then you can go with a live bait. But for me, even other places, with the advancements in technology, I've almost completely stopped live bait fishing.
Do you sell minnows?
I do sell minnows.
Okay. I guess that was the question. He said, what's the elephant in the room? I'm thinking, what's the minnow in this room?
Yeah, there you go.
I
Yes,
have
sir.
all just right there. People on the dock can get them, put them in your boat for you.
Oh, all right.
Minnows, crickets, and
good.
Minnows,
red
crickets, night crawlers.
night crawlers. Okay.
So most people, when they come here, are crappie fishing then?
Depends on the time of the year. Right now, crappie fishing, easily the biggest one. After that, probably bluegill, bass, and then catfish.
Yes.
What people come
Now, I've heard from some top bass pros, and I haven't went out here and found out for myself yet.
Right.
But Reelfoot is supposed to be very well spoken of in the pro circuits on the bass.
Right.
Now, because of the stumps, of course, they won't hold a bass tournament here, national tournament, just because you're not ever going to see my boat go on plane on this lake.
Right.
I just putt around, and that's what I tell people. Everybody's worried about their fiberglass boats. I've been guiding out here in a 21-foot fiberglass boat.
Right.
You just idle.
So is there lanes? Is there running lanes?
There is no running lanes.
And map like
A Navionics card will not help you. You're not going to run.
I like how he's laughing. He's like,
Yes.
Navionics card.
Yeah, that's not going to help
Obviously,
you.
you can't buy a Navionics card in your gift shop.
Wouldn't be worth it.
It wouldn't be worth it. It's not going to help you because the
Right.
stumps are absolutely everywhere. When
Right.
the water's up, there's a couple spots you can get on plane,
Right.
but you have got to absolutely know this lake 100%.
Gotcha.
And even the guys that I do see running that are on plane and do know the lake, when they shut down sometimes you still hear a big bang. I
Right.
mean, it happens, and I do not ever suggest anybody to run on plane on this lake.
But you can just start fishing right out of here.
Oh, yeah,
Literally,
you can go
just start-
right here.
Right.
Just right here and start fishing.
There's a bluegill bed there every year. The only problem with that one, it gets fished out very quickly when you have 30 guests switching over every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Right. I
And
gotcha.
even crappie fishing, they actually went right here 100 feet out of this opening. So they come out of here to go crappie fishing with a guide. They sat down right here at 100 feet from the dock, and that's where that they fish for the day, and they done pretty doggone good.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, that takes us to Tackle Time. Tackle Time, sponsored by PICO Lures. They have a complete line of hard and soft lures. You can check them out. Of course, everything they're catching here, all these game fish, well, you can catch them on PICO. So check them out at picolures.com. If they want to find out more, Jeremy, about your lures and your guide service, where would they go?
CrappieMonster.com
Okay.
is our website for our soft plastics and all of our lures, and our Outlaw Landing Net is also
Okay.
on there. And if they want to see the television show, it is On the Hook TV.
Okay.
They can check us out on Facebook or the Pursuit channel, or go over to YouTube, to On the Hook on YouTube, and see it.
All right, sounds good. Of course, Drew, we waited, save the best for last.
So ours, you can go to bluebankresort.com
Okay.
and see all the different types of packages and everything that we have. Call 731-538-2112, and we can book you right away.
Okay.
Or the biggest thing now, Facebook. So
Right.
we do live videos and everything on Facebook. We have about 300,000 followers, and we do live videos that we just go out and fish. So you get to see exactly how we do it.
Oh, good, good. So that all works out pretty good. If you want to check it out more, make sure you check out your website, your Facebook page, and you'll be able to find it all. Like I always like to end the show, make sure you keep your hooks sharp and your lures in the water.